I wanted to see if I could automate virtual machine deployments. I've set a few rules. No pressure. In the previous video, we let ChatGPT write our code. We ran our workflow, and then the workflow blew up. So it's time to do some debugging. And as you can see, it failed, but that's good because that gives me the chance to let you see how you determine what sort of failure is going on. So let's select the schema element that failed. And if you look over on the right, it says here, cannot find function pad start. Okay, so ChatGPT has generated some code for us, but it appears that that code is not, is either incorrect or is just a little bit too fancy for the JavaScript engine in Orchestrator to run. So I'm going to go off and figure out whether that is a legal function that we should expect to use or whether ChatGPT was just making that up. All right, so just doing a quick look here. It looks like there is a function called pad start that exists in the JavaScript language, but the JavaScript engine in Orchestrator does not necessarily have every single JavaScript function that exists on the face of the planet. So what we might need to do is to re-implement this code ourselves. So why don't we see if we can do that again under ChatGPT. Why don't we ask ChatGPT to generate the function again. But this time, do not use the pad start function. Let's see if they can write some code that doesn't use pad start. All right. So again, I asked it to write some code for us here, and it looks like it does not contain anything about the pad start function. Now, obviously, this code is a bit longer, but it should achieve what we're trying to do. So let me go implement this code in our Orchestrator workflow. Now, we could implement this different ways. Let me close this workflow run. We're back to the workflow. Here's its schema. Here's the scriptable task. We could take the code exactly the way it was written by ChatGPT, but I'm going to, instead of messing up this function, what if we modify the code that just got generated and we'll define a new function. Help if I spell function correctly. What if we define a new function called pad start? Again, pad start is going to take a number and it's going to return some string. We'll fix up that return statement in a moment. But taking the code that ChatGPT kindly generated for us, we're going to end up with some code that looks something like this. Now, if you're watching the ChatGPT code real closely, you'll notice that it had some error detection here. If the string's too long, let's truncate it. But I'm not concerned about making this perfect. So as you can see in my Orchestrator workflow, I have simplified that function. So function pad start is going to take the original number and it's going to create in theory, a 4-digit number with leading zeros. All right. Once again, let's validate our workflow. Actually, just before I do, there should be a bit more here. Let's make certain that it's doing the return. Great. So it's doing the return, but we don't want to return some string. Silly me. We want to return the newly formatted string. Again, this should be a 4-digit numerical leading zero string. All right, let's validate. Validation is successful. Let's run the workflow. We'll save the workflow and run it. And this time, fingers crossed. It failed again. Okay, silly me, slight modification here. So, once again, looking at our code, This here, dot pad start, is a method that's built into the string object. We need to do this a little differently. So let me, I'm going to save this code so that you can see what it looks like when it's wrong. That's calling them, this is attempting to call a method called pad start. That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to call the function called pad start. So silly me, let me fix up my little boo-boo here. Here we go. So by returning pad start, the function, this will hopefully work. All right, once again, click validate. Looks valid. Let's click save. Click save again. Talk about a cliffhanger. We did all that debugging. We fixed multiple problems. Our workflow's validating successfully, and we were just about to run the workflow. And then I rudely cut off the video. So mean. Anyways, join me next video and we'll run that workflow.